You are about to hear something that most people will completely ignore, and that is exactly why. Only a few will benefit from what is coming next. Right now, the world looks calm on the surface. Stock markets, moving news channels talking about inflation cooling. Experts saying everything is under control. But deep underneath this calm surface, something massive is building. Something that very few people are prepared for. And today I want to talk to you about that. Because if you understand this one thing, it can completely change how you see money forever. This is not hype, this is not fantasy. This is about silver. And why people like Schiff and Mike Maloney are warning that something big is about to happen. Let me start with a simple question. When was the last time you actually looked at what money is? Not what we are told it is, but what it truly represents. For thousands of years, money had value because it was real gold. Silver, things you could touch, things that took effort to produce. Then slowly something changed. Paper replaced metal, and later, numbers replaced paper. Now most of your money does not even exist physically. It is just digits on a screen. And here is where the story becomes dangerous. Governments all over the world have been printing money at a speed never seen before. Every crisis, every problem. The solution is the same: print more. During the last few years, trillions were created out of thin air. No backing, no real value, just numbers. And when you increase the supply of anything too much, its value drops. This is not an opinion. This is basic economics now. Think about this. If your money is losing value every year, where do you store your hard work? This is where silver quietly enters the picture. Silver is not just a shiny metal. It is used in electronics, solar panels, medical equipment, electric vehicles, and almost every modern technology. At the same time, silver is also money. Real money used for thousands of years. Here is the shocking part. Silver is being consumed faster than it is being produced every year. Industries use more silver than miners can dig out of the ground. And unlike gold, most silver is not recycled. It ends up in landfills, lost forever. Now imagine this demand going up, supply going down. What do you think happens next?
This is where Schiff comes in.
He has been warning for years that the financial system is built on debt, and that debt can never be repaid with more debt. He keeps saying that inflation is not temporary, that currencies are losing value, and that people are being slowly robbed without even realizing it. Mike Maloney goes even deeper. He explains how money cycles work, how wealth moves from one asset to another, and how we are approaching a massive shift. He often says that when people finally lose confidence in paper money, they rush into real assets: gold, silver, land. And silver is the smallest market of all. Let that sink in. It takes only a small amount of new demand to send silver prices exploding. Now here is the part most people do not understand. Silver is not expensive. It looks cheap because we compare it to dollars. But the dollar itself is losing value. 800 years ago, 1 ounce of silver could buy a good suit. Today it still can, but the number printed on the price tag changed. Not because silver changed, but because money did. This is why smart money is quietly accumulating. Not screaming, not posting on social media. Just preparing, because once the crowd realizes what is happening, it will be too late. Think about the last big financial crisis. People rushed to banks, they lined up. They panicked. Now imagine that same fear, but this time with inflation already high, with trust already broken. This is why silver is different. It is not just an investment. It is insurance against bad decisions, against broken systems, against loss of purchasing power. And here is something most people never think about. There is not enough silver for everyone to own even a small amount. If just a tiny percentage of the population decided to buy physical silver, the market would freeze, premiums would explode, shelves would empty, and prices would disconnect from reality. This has already happened in small ways. Dealers running out, delivery delays, rationing, these are early warning signs. Mike Maloney often says that the biggest gains come not from timing the market, but from being positioned before the move. And that is exactly where we are now. It's not about getting rich overnight. This is about protecting what you worked your whole life for. Imagine working for decades, saving, sacrificing, only to see your savings lose value year after year. That is what inflation does, quietly, silently. It does not announce itself. It just eats away at your future. Now think about this. What happens when people finally realize their savings are shrinking? What do? They look for something real. And silver has always been there waiting, not promoted by governments, not controlled by central banks, not created by keystrokes. It exists whether politicians like it or not. This is why powerful people pay attention to it. And why regular people are usually the last to notice. But you are hearing this now. You still have time to think, to learn to prepare. This is not about fear. It is about awareness. Every major financial shift in history had warning signs. Every single one, those who paid attention survived. Those who ignored them paid the price. We are living in one of those moments again. You do not need to be rich. You do not need to be an expert. You just need to understand what is happening. Silver is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a long-term protection, a shield in an unstable world. And the reason people like Peter Schiff and Mike Maloney talk about it so passionately is because they have studied history. They have seen this movie before. Different countries, different currency. Same ending. The only difference this time is the scale. Everything is bigger. Debt is bigger, printing is bigger, risk is bigger, which means the reset will be bigger too. This is not about panic. This is about preparation. Because once the headlines change, once the fear spreads, once everyone starts asking the same question, is my money safe? It will already be too late to prepare. The smart move is always before the crowd arrives. So if you are listening to this, you are already ahead. Stay curious. Keep learning, question everything. And remember, the biggest financial moves happen quietly. Before the noise, before the headlines. Before everyone else catches on. This is not the end. This is the beginning. And what comes next will shock a lot of people. If you understood this message, if it made you think, if it opened your eyes even a little, then stay alert, because the next few weeks might change everything. And when it happens, you will remember this moment. You will remember that you were warned. And you will be glad you listened.